Can't tell you how hard it is because the modus operandi of the people who terrorize people like me who are under electronic assault. Rumpelstiltskin, when they use this force against me, and then Rumpelstiltskin, what's that? It's a person who's a terrorist who uses a name de plume. They're, phony baloney. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. The name was Rumpelstiltskin. A voice to skull direct. Nobody in the room. Boom dim. Remote neural monitoring. All this fucking shit. And then I'm like, what happens? Well, moment to moment, day by day, they're there electronically harassing me. And the first thing Rumpelstiltskin does is he says, well, you're going to start making videos. And you're going to mark yourself down, Bob, as a comic. Because we don't want you going to the nut house as being psychotic because of all the shit that you're going to be doing. But the modus operandi of the terrorist is to make people who are electronically harassed look foolish. And look like we are sick in the head, and that we have a vendetta against law enforcement or the military, and somehow that we're playing a joke on you because, like my email along the way, they changed it from whatever about regular picture was to pictures of chickens from Sesame Street, the Muppet Show. Because they're long range, they got all kinds of long range story arcs that they want to go and talk about. And one of the long-range story arcs that they wanted to do was the Revenge of the Chickens, which was, I can't find it now, but at one time it was on the StuartWild.com website that I used to visit all the time because Stuart Wilde was an author that I used to follow, a spiritual author who talks about the 1% and devils and evil and supernatural stuff. And I've been following him, I don't know, 30 years maybe. Anyways, one of the stories was Revenge of the Chickens. For meat eaters, is that the chickens were, something was going to happen. The planet was going to punish people who were meat eaters, meat lovers. Revenge of the Chickens. And anyway, so the terrorist had me at one point, when it was just, it was a whole day affair, every day. I can't work all day long. The terrorists are playing games in their psychosis head of their imposed virtual reality. Today there's 5 human beings who are playing me as a video game. So if you see an email from me and it's got some chickens on it, it was a part of the, Lex Luthor, Hannibal Lecter way of discrediting people like me who report that this is actually electronic harassment. And even though it said I was a comic for years and years and years, I've never done stand-up comedy. I did one time. One time I went to Crickets in Thunder Bay. And it wasn't really funny because it's just, electronically harassed. You're going to go into up there, fine. I'll go up there and I talked about, talked about DMT, dimethyltryptamine. I don't know, because that's what Rumpelstiltskin, that person had me, because they go and they hijack me. They don't change the words that I say, but, if you watch that video, remote neural monitoring, they explain, people just like me were given enough time, really good words to explain what it's like to be electronically hijacked completely, body and mind. And riding around here as a person that's hijacked for years and years and years is a horror. It's electronic harassment, and somebody on the planet is using military-grade technology. We know this technology. It was announced to us at the time of, I think it was the Second Gulf War. American forces used voice-to-skull against Iraqi soldiers. They beamed the voice of Allah, some actor saying, "This is Allah, give your guns to the American forces." And they beamed that into Iraqi soldiers, according to the mainstream fake news. But really, that's what they reported. And the technology is real, and they reported in Havana, Cuba, that American embassy workers were attacked by microwaves. So if it's microwave, then it's coming off of one of them 42,000 Elon Musk satellites or something. It's military grade. And it's been going on for years and years and years. And the local police force looked the other way like I'm insane, like a psychosis. Because, my generous mother and father continue to, even though, they'll watch all these military movies and read military, stories, refuse to believe that their son is under electronic attack because, my parents are around the bend. Not a bad gunky. That's what Stephen King calls it in his books. I think it was Livesey's story. The boys grew up and their father had bad gunky. It's just that, from time to time, he falls into evil. 100% irrational evil. And the boys called it bad gunky. And when dad was in bad gunky, you better get the fuck away from the house and don't come back until, he's out of this It's a fugue state. It's a different state of consciousness, or when he just becomes completely the devil. Anyways, that's what I find these days with my, dementia afflicted parents. Because as a personal support worker, at Hogarth Riverview Manor in Thunder Bay, there is a ward, 1 North, for people who are violent. Physically, they use their canes, a wooden cane, and they smack other people around with it. Is that what I know? My parents don't have that kind of dementia. Because they cover for the dementia very well. But they have bad gunky. In private, away from prying eyes, they have bad gunky. They have evil plotting against me. Taking away all my money. Constructive dismissal, it's called in corporations. In my family affair, it's, constructive dismissal out of all my money, because between, the insane electronic harassment of me and my insane, I don't remember George Costanza from Seinfeld. Yeah, you take those parents, those kind of wacky people, yeah, and, they're around the bend, aren't they, George Costanza's parents? Welcome to my parents. My parents are as crazy or crazier than George Costanza's parents. Cross my heart. So anyway, what do I need to know? Anyways, if you got this video, will you please forward this to any armed forces commanding officers that you know, anywhere around the world. Please email this video, because I'm at the Valhalla Inn in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, and the terrorists just won't allow me to send this to, I'm trying to find a military email address, and it's incredibly difficult. It's just because when you're electronically harassed and you got mind wipes like Men in Black in the middle of you trying to do something, it's just a horror. And the people, they gloat. The terrorists that do this electronic harassment, they gloat. Because no one's electronically harassing them. And they just get off. And they're bad gunky on just getting into a mood where they just love to be Hannibal Lecter. These people are real. They're horrible. And they've been with me for years. It's really weird when they're so close to you. Because they invade your mind. They're mind snatchers. They're playing this like a video game on their end. It's everything, all the power's in their head. They got God mode power. Multiple times. Murdering me. Choking me. Heart attack machine. Everything. Horrible beyond belief. Evil beyond belief. Anyways, Hannibal Lecter in nature. Anyways, that's what I'm looking for, is somebody to send this email to anybody that's got a contact with the military. Anywhere on planet Earth, because I'm on planet Earth, and any military anywhere, they can go and, start the balls in motion to get, a coordinated effort of all the militaries to search for the people who are doing electronic harassment of people, because it's not just me. There's people all over the planet, and it's getting worse. So, please forward this to the military and say this guy is like, he can't do it himself. I'm in prison inside my own body. It's a horror.